right, moving on to our next bit of news. I told you we got a lot of stuff to cover. If you are anything like me, you are a huge fan of the Netflix show Glow, the gorgeous ladies of wrestling. It is a fantastic show. I love it. And going into season 4, we find out that it's canceled. Netflix has just canceled as of today, or rather, they made the announcement today that Netflix has canceled the 4th and final season of Glow due to the pandemic, to the global pandemic. I mean, it's a weird thing because there's a lot of other Netflix shows still going on. They're still greenlighting new shows, but the thing that makes this show very specific in particular is its huge cast. Glow has a massive cast. I mean, you have all of like the main stars of wrestling, of Glow, and then you have all of the other characters surrounding like the main women. So it comes as a huge blow. I personally am of the opinion that this could be a temporary thing. It may not be. This may be completely permanent. It's possible, who knows, that another streamer like Amazon might pick it up. I don't know. I tend to think not. It's possible. Anything goes. Todd, is this the first you're hearing of it? And if so, what's your knee-jerk reaction here?
I have a confession to make. As much as I love Allison Brie and everybody who had anything to do with the show Community, I have not actually gotten into Glow. I did my requisite Tiger King viewing. I actually made it through that twice because I had to watch it with my wife because she finally got fed up with it. She's like, I got to understand what this whole Joe Exotic thing is all about. But no, I haven't gotten into Glow. But for me, what I absolutely hate about the way Netflix did this is that they announced 4th and final season and then pulled it, then reneged on that. And I think that's so awful to do to fans.
They had already filmed the first episode of season 1, and they were halfway into the filming of episode 2 of that same season. And now, as it turns out, the gorgeous ladies of wrestling are walking away, and they are sorry. I had to figure out a way to show off my pops.
And I know I'm reading the cast responses. They're devastated. They hate to see the show going away. I had the same thought as you that maybe another streamer, maybe a Hulu or an Amazon would pick it up and run with it. I think that's going to hinge tremendously on whether or not they can secure the rights to broadcast the first 3 seasons. They're not going to produce a season 4 standalone without being able to have the binge-worthy seasons 1 through 3, right?
Yahoo did that with Community. So when NBC did seasons 1 through 5, and then they just wanted one more season, and then it got canceled. Yahoo picked it up. What if the chocolate milk distributor Yahoo? What if they started making content? But yeah, Yahoo picked it up for one season, so they could do the 6 seasons, and there's still talk of a movie. Who knows if that's
talking about a movie? 6 seasons in a movie, famous line. I can't wait. I think it's going to happen.
It better. I mean, Dan Harmon's been talking about it forever, but the only reason that I bring that up is because they actually did not have the rights to seasons 1 through 5. I think eventually after it came to, because Community is on Netflix now, I think Netflix eventually bought the whole package deal, everything that there was, and so like now we have all 6 seasons on Netflix. But I mean, it's on Hulu. In Hulu, yeah. So it's possible. It's possible that another streamer might pick it up for the last season. And like I said, they already have episode 1 filmed. So it's. Are they going to release it?
It's so weird that Netflix they're like penny wise and pound foolish. They're spending so much money on these Netflix original movies, and the series. A lot of series sometimes you don't always get a Daredevil where they hit the ground running with season 1 and maybe stumble a little bit in season 2. Usually, season 1 is where they're finding their feet a little bit, and then they're off and running in seasons 2 and 3. So to cut the legs out from underneath the show as it's really hitting its stride, I just don't get the logic there. And I understand that a lot of a lot of the reporting around some other shows that have been canceled is that that's around the time that, an actor or creative team's contracts are coming up for renewal. So they sign up for the first 2-3 seasons. Then once they have a hit on their hands, contract renegotiation time comes, and they say, well, I was a big part of what makes this show so successful, so I'm going to need a paying.
Very famously done with Big Bang Theory. Jim Parsons and the other two, Kaylee Cuoco. Oh, what's the other guy's name?
Rusty from Christmas
Yeah,
Vacation.
him. Anyway, but yeah, very famously, like when it came, I think it was season 7 or season 8 of Big Bang Theory, something like that. When they re-upped their contracts, they're like, no, we want $1 million per episode, and they got it.
Yeah,
all 3 of them, they got it, and I was like, what?
Same happened with Friends.
Friends, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Two and a Half Men
was really one of the first ones to do it, but
yeah.
But I mean, I get it. I get why there would be reluctance on the part of the studio, but when they're already shelling out so much money on other intellectual property that is not proven, you produce a movie for so many millions of dollars, you don't know that anybody's going to want to watch.
Well, it's curious to me that, with a streaming service like Netflix or Amazon Prime or Hulu or like whatever, these are not films or television shows that are being exhibited anywhere but their own personal streaming platform. Like, they get 100% of the profits. I mean, if it's like, if they're showing it, like, if you're watching Netflix through Apple TV, okay, like, you give a little portion to Apple TV or through Roku or whatever, but for the most part, they keep all the profits. Now, Netflix very famously does not advertise their shows, which is extremely foolish because nobody knows what is on Netflix. But 2, they don't have to pay movie theaters. They don't have to pay the same amount of money. Like, say, Tenet. Tenet cost $200 million to make. If you want to advertise the movie, you have to spend the same amount of money of what you spent to make the film. So now you're at $400 million. And then you have to pay 1.5%. You probably know a little bit better than I do, having worked in a theater, but approximately 1.5% to the theaters, to the exhibitors, to show your movie. And so now, for a $200 million movie that it costs to make, now you have to make back $600 million just to break even. And like, Netflix doesn't have to do that. So it's curious to me, yes, Glow is a higher production. It costs more money to make Glow than it does like your average Netflix show. I get that. But is their return not as high as, anywhere else? Same thing with Stranger Things. Stranger Things, very famously, is one of their most expensive shows to make right now. And I haven't heard any, fingers crossed we don't hear about a cancellation for season 4.
Please,
oh,
no.
My dear heavens, that's one of my favorite shows of all time.
Come on, Duffer Brothers.
But, they're killing it with that. But, they were killing it with Glow. So this is really surprising to me that Netflix would make this move.
Yeah. I think that's what's so strange about it. Is they've got a bona fide hit. They've got the built-in audience, a captive audience. They can't get it anywhere else. Why wouldn't you want to keep them, even if it costs you a little bit more for season 4? They already said that's it. We're one and done. That's going to be the final season. And I preferably like when television networks and TV studios, when they're producing something and you've been a fan of it for so long, they give you that heads up that, hey, this is the last one. Yeah. And you get to kind of temper and savor that last season. So I can only imagine the bitterness Glow fans are feeling right now for being so enthusiastic and anticipating
and supportive,
breathlessly the final season. It's going to be great. We just got to get through this over this COVID hurdle, and they'll go back to production, and then rug pulled out
from under them. Anyway, guys, question is for you: is how do you feel about the cancellation of Glow? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Are you somewhere in between? Chances are you probably hate this decision. And do you think there's hope for resurrection? Just because it's been canceled, do you think it's like this is it? This is the end? Or do you think that there's hope that they might actually be able to pull the pieces out of the trash can and, put Humpty Dumpty back together again? Jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, click like. And if you really like this video, click subscribe. And if you really, really like this video, click share. Because that is exactly what Weird Al Yankovic would want you to do. Dun, 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 dun.